Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's lesson on sophisticated humor, focusing on irony, satire, and understatement.
Hi, Emma. I'm excited to dive into these concepts today. They really add depth to conversations, don't you think?
Absolutely, Jake. Exploring how we can use language in subtle ways is both fascinating and fun.
Right. So, what exactly do we mean by irony, parody, and things like that?
Great question. Irony often implies a contrast between expectations and reality, while satire criticizes society or politics through humor.
And understatement. That's when something is described as less than it actually is, right?
Exactly. An understatement can be very effective in creating humor too. Now, shall we jump into some examples?
Definitely. Let's get started.
Let's begin with a simple ironic statement. It's a bit cold today, when it's freezing outside. It highlights a contrast.
That's hilarious. And what about satire?
Good segue. A satirical comment might be, "It's amazing how they fixed the city's traffic problem by just moving the traffic lights around."
That definitely has a satirical touch. What about hyperbole?
Hyperbole is exaggeration for effect, like saying, "I've told you a million times."
Got it. And I suppose litotes are somewhat subtle?
Yes, very much so. An example would be saying, "She's not bad at singing," when she's actually quite talented.
That adds a nice touch of sarcasm. What about mock serious?
Mock serious is playful, pretending to be serious about something trivial. For instance, "I'm very serious about my morning coffee ritual."
I see. Do you think irony is often misunderstood?
Yes, definitely. People sometimes take ironic comments literally.
I can think of a time when my friends didn't get my irony. I told them, "Yeah, I love doing all the dishes," and they believed me.
That's a classic misunderstanding. They missed the irony in your statement.
Exactly. I thought it was clear. Irony can be tricky sometimes.
For sure, irony adds a layer of complexity to our language.
Speaking of complexity, what do you think about satire? Is there a difference between satire and irony?
Definitely. While irony is about contrasts, satire targets specific flaws in society or behavior.
Got it. Kind of like satirical cartoons that poke fun at politicians?
Exactly. Those cartoons are perfect examples.
And what about hyperbole? When would that be useful?
Hyperbole works well in storytelling or when you want to emphasize a feeling, like saying, "I could sleep for a year."
Right. And what about litotes? Is that something that can be easily understood?
Yes, but you must ensure the listener knows the context, which can sometimes be a challenge.
That's good to know. Now, how about mock serious statements? They seem intriguing.
They are. Mock serious comments can lighten the mood during serious discussions.
Right. Like saying, "Let's all take a moment to appreciate how amazing my sock collection is."
Exactly. It invites laughter and shows that not everything needs to be serious.
I love that, especially when you can make a point with a small laugh.
Humor in discussions can really engage listeners.
I can see that. So, how about some examples we could use?
Of course. Here's one. "This project is going really well, just like a fish on a bicycle." That's ironic.
And that implies it's not going well.
Exactly. Now, a satirical example might be, "Oh, great, another meeting. To talk about meetings."
That's clever. So satirical commentary on pointless meetings.
Very much so. Another hyperbole could be, "I'm so hungry I could eat a horse."
That's a good one. And what about litotes?
A classic litotes is, "He's no Einstein," implying he's not very smart.
Subtle but effective. How about a mock serious example?
Sure. "This is a matter of extreme importance, like deciding what to have for lunch."
That's perfect. You turn something trivial into something grand.
Now, let's solidify what we've learned with some vocabulary.
Sounds good. Let's hear those words.
First is satirical. For example, "The film was satirical, cleverly addressing political issues.
Got it. Satirical comedy helps people think critically.
Next. Ironic. It's ironic that the fire station burned down last night.
That's a classic irony. It adds a twist to the story.
How about hyperbole? Her hyperbole made the story memorable and entertaining.
Exaggeration really makes a point.
Then there's Litotes. His performance wasn't the worst, can convey a lot of meaning.
Right. Subtle but effective.
Finally, mock serious. They were mock serious about their brunch plans. Shows how trivial matters can seem serious.
These are excellent examples. Thanks for breaking them down.
Let's review what we've covered today.
Sure. What's our first review question?
What is the difference between irony and satire?
Irony highlights contrasts, while satire critiques social issues.
Correct. Next, can you give an example of hyperbole?
I could eat a horse when I'm really hungry.
Well done. Now, what's a sentence using litotes?
He's no Einstein. That implies he's not that smart.
Exactly. Lastly, what does mock serious mean?
It's being playful while pretending to be serious, like about lunch.
Perfect. You got it all.
This lesson was so enriching, Emma. What's next?
Next time, we'll explore metaphors and similes and how they can create vivid imagery.
Looking forward to it. See you, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Don't forget to play with irony and humor in your conversations.